It is a glorious day. It is the same day that is the October the 15th, 2 days after October the 13th. And it is Twin Ring is separate, from the rest of the gang. But, you know, I think we can all get along with it. As I said, track temperature today is currently 19 degrees, as we see the very slip and slide of Felipe Paiva currently doing his round. He's about to get started with his first run, getting the tires heated. Unfortunately, in the car like this, at this track temperature, you really do need to work all of the tires. Now, as we fade the music out, I want to hear this car go across the line. And start. Now, track layout's going to be like this. You're going to have two sweeping right-handers. You want to keep it nice and tight. Going into one, then into two, let it sweep out wide. You're coming up to 3 and 4 now. It's a bit wider of a set of turns. Tighter turn 3 with a nicer, gentler turn 4. You want to let the car slide out as best you can. Get as much speed as possible. Oh, that is unfortunately way too wide. Coming out of 4 into 5. Underneath part of the oval. You can see we're kind of going underneath it now. Through. Turn 6, sweep as you crest up a hill. Well, that's a little bit of a hill. Turn 7 gets tighter. Turn 8, tighter still. You want to slow right down. And then turn 9 becomes the hairpin. Almost effectively, you crawl at just over 90 kilometers an hour. And then turn 10 is the big squeeze as the hairpin just comes up at you. Nice and easy. In, out, wide line as you go through the back section towards turn 11. And the most trickiest part, I would imagine, of the circuit, the complex 12, 13, and the dual left-hander with a right-hander mishap, as I would call it. You want to control it, shotgun it out. There you go, perfect. And on towards the start finish line. That is lap 1. Unfortunately, it won't count because he unfortunately got an off track on that last section. Now, let's check in with Seth, on board with Seth Whitaker. Has already completed 1 lap. And I think the GT2s are going to have a really hard time in the S's in particular. You do go quite fast through these, but once you get to 7, 8, and 9, that's where the differences really come into play. You kind of slow down a lot more than the GT1s would. GT1s can carry a lot more speed into the hairpin, already putting it down to 80 kilometers an hour. You know, the car does not like, well, this one in particular really doesn't like being a car, so you have to really keep it a buck with kid gloves as you drive around. Seth taking it in. I did just declare the Ford GT2 a not car. Yes. Yes, I did. Because, I mean, nothing on this earth kills you more than this car. Olsen crossing the line. Currently 4th and unfortunately pipped by this man. Mr. Carl J.T. Moore graces us with his presence. We're happy to have him. Ilya Nainen. I feel like the Finns have just come and said, I wish to do this. Because we've got... what's his face? I can't remember the name. A big set of Finns, anyway. That's the main thing. Juha Ilya Nainen. God, that's a last name, isn't it? It just makes it more... You tell me. I will compare it to you this way. I would never drive the car. I think I've spoken on this before. I have driven the car for, I think, 12 minutes. I gave up. It was a bathtub with wheels. Whereas with this car, on your screen, the Aston Martin DBR9, now that's a fine piece of engineering. Not far behind it is this car, currently sat by Arnold Koch, who is not going to do another lap. So I think anybody who could shake a stick at it has shaken the stick. I think we can go for quality results as they stand as of right now, with a new face, Nicholas Scheer, 144.350 dead, with Stefan Hazley, 145.382 in second place. De Brot with a 146.384. Jeannie Mac, that's a second separating them a piece. Ilya Nainen, 146.810 with the anime car with Brian Diaz with a 146.95. 147.265 goes to Arnold Koch, with Gwyn 147.452 and Story 147.775. And then we get to the GT2s. Seth Whittaker with a 148.194, followed very closely by Carl J.T. Moore with a 148.261. Wutzold with a 148.402, with John Olsen coming in behind with a 148.463. Very tight on the top four, top five even, with Waldenhauer with a 148.514. Mosquera, hey, he's not doing too bad in the that's the Hussingerveld GT Challenge delivery, but I'll let it slide again. And then we got Mr. Twister Madsen with a 151.204, and I think that is car number 7. Where is he? Jarrett Lee with a 153.533. 30 minutes on the clock. This is where things will shape up. Where is my pace car? I think I need to find my pace car. Where is he? There he is. Camera's on the pace car as it looks rearward. But that sun is not coming up among the clouds just yet. And it's not even coming up among the trees. It's still very dark outside, with the arrangement of GT1s and GT2s sat on to do the very short pace route. If you've never seen this before, this is the iRacing GT Thrustmaster Challenge. Two classes. One class of GT1s occupied by the Aston Martin DBR9 and the Chevrolet Corvette C6R. Very fast cars of their time and legendary on the GT1 calendar. And then we have a car that doesn't exist in GT2, as Chair has decided he's shy. He's shy. Oh, bless him. He doesn't want to be seen by the camera. He doesn't want to be seen by the camera. He's shy. Oh, bless his heart. But this is what he will see as he comes round to ultimately lead the 10-car strong field of GT1s, and the other field will be occupied by Seth Whittaker, leading them off, leading 7 GT2s. Pace car comes in. Now, as we said, very careful as you come around here. You can very easily lose traction, but I don't think Chair wants to do any of that. He says bye-bye and runs away with a half a second as they cross the line to start. Oh, crikey, that is going to be a little bit of a tussle in the middle pack, and that is a car going round. That's number 16 of Iliainen round, as is Tyler Gwynn. But both can get back up and running very quickly. Down on power, but not out, as Arnold Koch looks to see if he can take a swing. Oh, dearie me. The GT2s have arrived. That's Votzult in the center of proceedings. As Moldenhauer, where is he? Is he in the... Yes, he is. He has just come out. The timing tower will be wrong for a solid little bit, but it's simply because Lars decided to start from the pits and not wait for an accident to take place. Current on screen is going to be Carl J.T. Moore chasing down Seth Whittaker. How's my driving? 1-800 protest, as per usual. All emails will be sent to Nimcross Jr., who will laugh at Seth's great driving style. I think he's actually a great driver. Don't worry about it. Into turn 10. Remember, it's a hairpin. In these cars, it's very careful. And you don't want to make a mistake as you come back out. Now, you do see the rear wing. There is a car hiding behind the rear wing. And if we just do... Oh, there it is. Coming very close indeed. That was a brake lockup from Carl J.T. Moore. I think he just needed a new pair of pants just then. That was spooky. Amplified by the fact that the rear wing was obscuring his car. Crossing the line already. 2 minutes have gone. And the lead for both classes is up for contention. If we cut back to the roll bar of Stefan Hazley, he is putting in work. Car number 10, really charging hard, pushing against Nicholas Scheer. 2800 I rating versus 2100. Steady she goes, coming through the tunnel. Turn 6. Turn 7. And then turn 8. Another accident for Tyler Gwynn. Let's have a look on his onboard. Let's have a snoop and see what happened. Oh, that's the grass, Gwynn. Battle. Oh, that is going to be Jeremy Story. We didn't mention him before, but he had a little bit of an off. Let's have a look at a different view. Story there in the black, white with orange accent CTV Corvette. Overcooking it. Oh, that was very close by Mr. Lee there. He definitely feathered the needle on that one. And also probably screamed a lot. But this is what happens in multi-class racing. You can never be too sure what will happen, even if it is only 17 cars on track. And one of them is Felipe Paiva. Car number 2, chasing down the car number 10. Stefan needs to keep himself all sorted. Felipe takes no prisoners. He is a cut off the jib in terms of great racing. He will put many people to shame, including myself. Though that's not particularly hard. In through 7, 8, Right-hander, keeping it sweep. Sweep it to the right. 9. Tuck it in. That is a mistake from Shea. Bottled it on 9. Needs to keep it hugged in, but under threat goes... Ooh, Stefan Hazley, late move there from the inside. Stefan just saw the door open and said, nope, I can't allow this to happen. Keep the race going. 3rd is good enough for me, but Shea, look at what he sees. Just the most threatening thing you can ever see is a man named Felipe Paiva, who says, what is slow? I don't know what that is. I shall go fast. And fast he will go. Metalumio adorning the top of his vanity panel on the top there. Remember, tuck it in for 1 and 2. Look how far Felipe goes out. He's setting himself up for a potential just on the wafer thin option of making a move into a very difficult section of 1 and 2. Comes out. Takes a minute. And does anything change? I don't think so. Keeping it nice and steady. We'll cut back to a very threatening race developing in GT2 class. The 4GT GT2, which does not exist. I don't know why this exists. But thank you, iRacing. One very damaged. That is going to be Lawrence Dubrow. Just sitting in formation behind the 2 of JT Moore. Looking on the helmet cam of Carl now. Oh, a little bit of a... You can just see how a bad line through 7 and 8 can really crush the rest of the lamp into 9. Drive it around. Hold on to your hats. This could be an overtaking opportunity. If Carl allows it, he might have to go around the outside, though. He does not, but he cuts back in for the over-under. Doesn't work, though. That was a very good line by Seth to make it through. You can just see how close the gap is right now as the drone feeds overhead. Handing it off to track side cams. Does Carl make the same mistake he did a few laps ago? Lock up the brakes? He doesn't. Seth taking the very wide line coming into 12. Double left-hander to 13. Sweep right. And off you go. Battle in the GT1 class is going to be the car number 11 of Diaz. A little bit of a mistake coming into turn 3 into 4. And that ahead of him is going to be Jarrett Lee, who's making up for his little oopsie daisy a little bit ago. And working his way into the field. 4th position. Currently one of the fastest cars on the track as of right now in GT1 class. Poor Stefan. Had a good charge, but I think that overtake has just, set him off just a little bit. Probably is just wanting to race his own race at the moment. Let it come to him, which is always a valid option. You have 21 minutes remaining in the race to be able to do something with it. Don't worry about it. All Chair has to worry about is a very, very determined car called Felipe Paiva sat behind him. This could be a very good... No. Paiva backs up. Let the race come to you. Through into 12. Into 13. Sweep. Right-hander. Oh, very slow off the corner is Nicholas. If this was a move, this would be the perfect opportunity. And Felipe Paiva does take it. In he goes. Keep it tight. He has to. That's Shea on the outside. And that is a pass for the lead. Very well executed by Paiva. But I think that Shea might have something to say for that. Just a little bit. Lead for the GT2s still hasn't gone away. You can just see the... Is that a steering rack damaged car? I think it is. How has Dubras not gotten... I want to see... I think his steering... Yeah, he is crabbing. Well, don't you get in there, goodness gracious. Not with a car that's got the front wheels not pointed in the right direction. I'm looking at it now and I'm focusing in on it. That car is not... Well, the car is no longer there anymore. I think he may have ignored the black flag. Coming back to the lead. Now, Seth Whitaker. Still defending himself. He is really under pressure now. That is just around 0.3 of a second separating the two of them. Cutting down to 0.2. Carl is a very experienced driver of these cars, as is Whitaker. Whitaker putting in the numbers and doing all sorts just to keep him at bay. But I think this will come down to a last few minute kind of deal where it just instantly happens. But not the only battle in GT2 land. In another battle, actually, is Votsold with John Olsen, who is still wearing his old guy's rule set of liveries. The old boys in the old guy's rule toys. He's showing that he can just be at the ripe old age of age and still be able to work the wheel, the pedals, and the gearbox. Driving on track is not mandatory. Lock up by Søren Thomas Votsold coming into 2, but John Olsen can capitalize on it. But I'll tell you what can capitalize as the wipers go off. That is Whitaker on the wrong side of the car number 1. That's going to be Carl JT Moore. Does JT Moore hold it? That's a front wheel lockup. Oh, slide coming through. Turn 5 into 6. Inside line goes to Seth, but he'll have the outs. Ooh. Outside line going into turn 7. Into 8. Oh, that's a little bit of a tap. Oh, dearie me. And Seth, being a true gentleman, will not be able to hand back the position. That was enough to bring the extra 2 cars back. So that's Votsold in a battle, in a scrap completely unrelated to the lead. The whole thing is just blown back wide open. I'm loving this. Even though these cars didn't exist. Well, this car in particular didn't exist in its configuration. I still don't get iRacing's choice to do that. I'm just amazed that it has blown open as it has, because while everybody's going around, Seth is just like, I wanted to hand the position back. I just wanted to race. And with the GT1s kind of trying to cut back through, what's Carl going to do? Ooh! Olsen there, I think, just got a little bit of a shove. And it has upset Søren Votsold, who wanted to move through. I remember the name now, I just saw that. The Tune Monkeys Racing. If you're familiar with that outfit, you'll also be familiar with a man called Mick Claridge. Wonderful gentleman, doing Where Is Mick over as part of, there we go, that's the proper English, as part of the GSRC's Where Is Mick series. Go check that out, because it's a right journey. He's a madman cycling as much as he is. Jeepers. Lock up by Votsold again. A little bit of a slip just goes a long way to losing the position there, and just instantly like that loses it. Brian Diaz under threat from Arnold Koch. coming, I think this is into turn 1 to 2 as they go through just past the halfway point, coming up in 20 seconds. And Brian Diaz had a momentous slowdown, lost 5 seconds on that last lap alone, 151.659 compared to the 147.419 of Arnold Koch. And under threat when, well, I mean, I would be under threat if I heard this. Wouldn't you, when a big scary American muscle car just goes this is about 14.3 times more I'll tell you. We make do here as part of the series, but everybody's having fun. I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure Brian Diaz is definitely having fun. Grr, big scary American. Boo. I think that's what Arnold Koch is doing right now. He's doing his best impression of the likes of Michael Myers, you know, Jason Voorhees, you know, American Psycho, doing the big scary American where he's just like, I wish to have this position, and I will have it. Brian Diaz getting his legs up now. Arnold Koch not able to capitalize. The DBR9 is, in my personal opinion, a lot easier through the corners, but just the initial grunt that the C6 has cannot be denied. And again, more battles going through. I think this one was a hand off though. Let's have a look. I am pretty sure this was a hand off. He did back up quite a way. Yes, he did. He handed it off. Great sportsmanship from Mr. Whitaker. Handing back the position, but now it's game on. Now we get to see these two go really at it with 13 minutes to go. Positions 1 and 2 held by the car number 4 and the car number 1, respectively. That's Carl JT Moore in first, with Whitaker really cranking the wheel. It's like a Blanche ship going through there. You know, I would be right in saying these are land ships, because that's the main feeling I got when driving the GT2 was, this is a literal land ship. Hats off to anybody who wants to drive them. I'm certainly not. Koch does regain some time though, coming back into the top 5 of GT1. Turn 11. Into 12. Into 13, a very shallow line from Koch. I'm not sure if he's just not able to follow the line that Diaz has. Diaz was very wide, as he should do. You should have a wide line to cut nice and tight into 12, then into 13. Don't know if Koch just either doesn't know the line or can't follow the line. That is a very damaged car I just saw right in front of them, and that's Votsold with issues. Originally that was... Oh, Gwyn. Oh, poor Gwyn. Why? No, Gwyn. Oh. Let's have a look at the blimp. Be a bit easier to see. That's the car number 15 there. That is Gwyn. On the outside is the car number 4 of Seth Whitaker. Now, to be fair, he did keep very tight, but that's a drift out. And a tap goes and turns him around. Votsold, by the way, has to take a pit stop. Oh. Tyler, you can't do that. You cannot just murder a man like this. Poor Votsold got his face done in. That was a oh! I just witnessed another one getting getting murdered. That was a very unfortunate accident between two drivers. Now, that was going to be the car number 14 of Arnold Koch, making the move. Successfully did, but just the back end stepping out. Bang! And where could Diaz go? Unfortunately, Diaz just really unlucky there in that situation, as were both of them. Koch just making a mistake all on his own. Brake lights lit up like a Christmas tree as poor Diaz tried to regain the initiative. Stefan Hazley, by the way, passed by Jarrett Lee. Yeah, Jarrett Lee has been on a charge. He's gone from quite far down. He's now charged his way back and has passed Stefan Hazley, who was wearing the red, white, and blue. You know, I don't remember the last time that Twin Ring Motegi was in the US, but hats off to you. I wear the red, white, and blue. Again, into 11. Right-hander. Sweeping out. Sweep to the right. Keep it nice. Keep the wheel going. Sweep out into 12. Into 13. That was a cut there from Jarrett. Does he have to give time back? No, he doesn't. He does. Game on for the boys. Oh, misshift. But Jarrett Lee will have all of his work to make up for again as he has to cut through the field with 8 minutes to go. Back to Seth as he is trying to recoup the race that he had. A little bit of an accident that he had with Tyler Gwynn results in him essentially conceding second place to John Olsen. Coming down into that is Tyler just get the car repaired. I am not meant to see what I'm seeing right now, and that is one very damaged nose. Stop it, Tyler, it's already dead. John Olsen going through. Crosses the line to complete another lap. They're currently on lap 13. They will be lapped. Could potentially be pretty soon if the race is still going by, I think, 30 minutes on the dot. Just about, probably. Dealing with traffic. But as a happy circumstance, we do get to see the old guys rule. You know, they rule second place. Not first place though, but second place is good enough. On the inside, you can just see Seth he's trying to just why are you putting on the wipers? Rain isn't here yet. The rain's not here yet, Seth. Come on, come on. Come on down. Come on down. Seth Whitaker, come on down. Come on down to turn 12 and get a left-hander and a right-hander. Olsen will probably have to defend up until the end of the race. 6 minutes left to go. He will definitely. Hazley still trying to keep up with Jarrett Lee. Jarrett just putting in lap times that are faster, I think. 0.4 of a second on that last lap. 1:45.597 versus Stefan Hazley's 1:45.923. The fastest car currently on track actually is going to be on a consistent basis is Nicholas. I keep wanting to say Claire, but it's Shayer. As John Olsen, sorry, I have to go back to this. The GT2s have been immense today. Coming back into it. John Olsen on the inside, going on to the outside now as Seth thinks better of it, says outside might be better, and makes the pass. Very well done. Perfectly handy. And then secure it into the 2 sections of track that he needs. Turn 10, keep the hairpin flow going. John Olsen with the time to make up. He has 4 minutes to make a pass, so I think in and around just under 3 laps left for him to try anything. That is Gwyn making a attempted pass on the inside, but slows up, thinks the better of it. I don't know how that car is not black flagged, or black and the meatball flag even, because the front entire nose cone is gone of that car. All you can see is the remnants of what was the radiator. I'm surprised the engine hasn't, you know, grenaded itself. Ooh, Gwyn, what are you doing? Gwyn, leave them be. They're just innocent GT2s. This is not the turkey shoot of GT2. You know, the great Motegi turkey shoot. This is Motegi Raceway. So, main battle is pretty much this on track, so we'll keep the cameras here for the majority of the time, but a few notable points worth mentioning. Stefan Hazley really has lost the tail end of Jarrett Lee, who's now 2.5 seconds ahead of Stefan. Car number 7 is pretty happily going to probably secure 3rd place. All is equal, if all is equal. Nicholas Shayer, 2nd place. Probably not going to be able to catch Paiva. Paiva just started putting in 144s and stood there. Versus Shayer, who could only muster 145.2 on that last lap. Also having to deal with traffic, but that's besides the point. So for our money for the last 2 minutes, let's take a look at this one. Mr. John Olsen versus Seth Whitaker. Game on for lap number 16. Olsen's probably thinking to himself, where would be the best time to make the move? Probably in the last lap. He has to do it in a place that suits him to the ground. Very nice 1-2. As did Seth. Get a nice 1-2 going through into 3. At around the 100-meter mark. Brake. Slowly back on the throttle. Let the car settle. Very wide coming out of 4. Might slow him down just a smidge. Into 5. Right-hander. You want to park it on the curb on the outside. Sweep around for 6. Into 6. What? That is the full mirrors of Tyler Gwyn, by the way, who's got a completely broken car. And it could jeopardize this battle. We'll wait and see. On the inside he goes. Tyler makes the pass, but does he succeed? He does not. This is going to compromise John Olsen. He has to figure out something, because the car is going to impede him either way. So he'll have to defend the corner. John Olsen still fighting Seth. Penultimate lap for the boys. as this man, I was right in saying that they would actually start catching back up. Felipe Paiva, white flag for him as he's going to lap Javier Mascara in 4th. Did a very good job leading the way ahead of both Nicholas Scheyer and Jarrett Lee. Both of them doing well for themselves. Especially for Jarrett Lee, who had an accident early in the race. Stefan Hazley. A good 4th for him, I imagine. John Olsen will now have to fight, I think, for another lap and a half. We've just gone through 6 into 7 into 8. Right-hander. Into 9. Also, does that say 0? What does that say? 0% what? Tag Hooer, 0%. Well, we'll ask him if he's around what the 0% means, but it is 0%. But what will the 0% mean? I don't know. We'll have a look. Now Olsen will have to make the decision. Last lap for these guys in particular. Is it the time now to do or die? He'll be guaranteed 3rd position no matter what happens as soon as he crosses the line, but he does now. And by the way, we have to give it up for Felipe Paiva. A very, very, very good run through the field. As was Scheyer and Jarrett Lee. Top 4 definitely did put in the work out there. I think Stefan would be very happy that he finished 4th. I would. I mean, I'm happy to even finish. But this is the problem. Last lap, turn 5 into 6. Underneath the oval, John Olsen can't get his sea legs. Third is still on the cards. He just needs to get as close as he can to Seth. But can he? Can Seth either make a mistake or can John Olsen really pull out a great last few corners? Zoom. Cutting down to the start-finish line. 3 corners to go. Does Seth make it do? But give it up for Mr. JT Moore. Carl JT Moore. Put the rubber stamp and send it kind of guy. And I say he's pretty happy. I'm surprised the car didn't flip when he did that zigzag. But Seth coming home into 2nd place. With John Olsen taking up a very respectable 3rd. A weave of happiness coming across the start-finish line. And wasn't that a good race for everybody? Well, it was certainly for me. I liked it. But I like nearly everything that these guys do. It's very poetic. Very poetic indeed. As the top 3 make their way to doing a top 4 go to do a side-by-side finish for the boys. Look at them. Look at them go. Also, by the way, Javier, you still have the wrong bloody car, mate. It still says Huskenveld GT Challenge. It's not the Huskenveld GT Challenge anymore. It hasn't been for a while. It's currently the GT Thrustmaster Challenge. But at the very least, we can give you the race results. As I said before, Felipe Paiva wins for GT1 in first position. 8 seconds down the road was Shayer with a good, comfortable second place over Jarrett Lee, 12 seconds down the road from the leader. Stefan Hazley probably is kicking himself that he didn't push harder, but a fourth position is pretty respectable. 22 seconds down the road with Brian Diaz, 40 seconds behind him with Arnold Koch. And it is Arnold Koch with 48 seconds down the road. Story is 55 seconds down the road from all of the leaders. JT Moore, Mr. Carl, finished in the first, was the first car to finish first in the first car, in the number one car, with the one car going to be first, and that is going to be Carl JT Moore in first. And if you want to be first, you have to be first to finish, and first is what he's going to be in the car number one. As Seth Whittaker finishes 11 seconds down the road, as did John Olsen. Very good battle all the way through. Tyler Gwynn in GT1 finished 1 minute 42 seconds down the road. Javier Mascara haven't been lapped. Ilianainen is in ninth, 1 lap down. Moldenhauer 1 lap down, finishing at 5th in GT2. Matson, he did finish 1 lap down over Vatselt, 3 laps down, and the one big retiree was Dubois with a 12 lap deficit going through into the 12 laps. My brain's just gone completely mad. I will take the gem that is Jem Matson. Jem, good evening. I'm good. How was it out there?
Maybe the track was a little warmer than usual. I don't know. I felt like I was losing a little bit of traction. I put a lot of practice in this week. You're probably wondering why I'm even bothering with this all the way at the back. I never even close to the leaders. I just started in this series just this season, and this is the Ford GT2 is like the most difficult car to drive in the sim. So it's a challenge, and for the most part, I'm keeping it on the track. It's just, you lose so much time when if you mess up your trail brake just a little bit, then either you crawl into the corner or you run wide. It's a very unforgiving car.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the 12 minutes that I drove this car, that was my first impression was, oh dear.
Yeah.
I was practically what the top of your car says, nervous going into it. And
of the leaders by the end of the season.
Yeah, nervous leaders, yeah, definitely. But even if you came last, and even if you came second last, it's still good practice to get in. You'll get there eventually. I know that much. It's still
exciting.
Oh yeah. Well, the key thing is to finish first. First, you have to finish.
Yeah, that's the whole strategy. This is the only clean race I can really get in any given week because my I rating is so low. I just get in. If I go to GT4 or F4 or anything like that, most of the time there's a wreck in lap 1, and most of the time it's somebody dive bombing me or something like that. So you get stuck in this death spiral where you can't get out of it. So it's so nice to come in here to the GT Challenge and do a clean race where nobody's running into each other on purpose. There's no clean, there's no dirty re-entries. For the most part, it's a really, really fun race, even though I'm not even close to being competitive in it yet.
Well, I mean, take me through what you said the clean racing, obviously, but
yeah.
What was it about the GT2 that piqued your interest? Because I will say this, it takes a peculiar breed of person to drive the GT2.
Yes, you've been to the Discord, I see.
Yes, I have.
What brought me to it is I guess I'm a Ford person. I kind of used to be a Pontiac person, but you can't be anymore because it's gone. So I've owned 3 generation of Mustang GTs, and so I had an interest in the Ford GT, and so just regular old brand interest, and it's kind of a legendary car anyway. Not this particular one, the GT40 is, but this one won the Le Mans too, so this is still a legendary car. But and then the sound of it, the configurability, and just it's when you get it right, it's so rewarding.
I can imagine, yeah. That I'd say if I could keep any car on the track, that's a big reward in of itself. Now,
I tend to trail off on my trail brakes a little too early, and sometimes I just lose too much speed. But then maybe 1 out of 5 times on a difficult turn, I'll really nail it, and boy, it's worth it. It's worth the effort.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it's going to be rewarding for you because at the very least you'll go from Motegi to Daytona International Raceway next week. What are your thoughts on that?
I have very little time on Daytona, and actually most of these tracks. I have some experience in the F1 tracks, but everything else, very little. Just what I've driven on this service over the past 3 months or so. So most of the time, most weeks, I'm learning the track, and I'm also still learning the car. So I will have to put in quite a lot of effort. From what I remember of the Daytona Roval, there's some really nasty chicane on the interior. And there's quite a lot of bumps too, which the Ford does not like. There's some tracks we can't even do because it's like a pogo stick.
Ask Javier Mascara about the one. He'll be very well versed in the pogo stick category because the amount of times that I've seen a Ford GT GT2 commit die in the hairpins or the horseshoes in the inside track, and especially the bus stop. I've seen a fair few just decide, nope, I'm not going to steer anymore.
Yeah. It's there's a very, very narrow window where the steering works really well, and it's a lack of downforce in general. I adjust my setup to try to give myself as much downforce as possible, and it helps me stay on track at the cost of probably a little bit of speed on the straights. But I'm not so much concerned about that. I'm concerned about getting through the corners. That's where I'm losing all my time. You can only go fast in the straights, but you got to get to the straights fast. So
exactly, yeah.
So
you have the right
Daytona
mindset.
will be difficult, but everybody's got experience on it except me. I think. I think the GT1s are going to have a much better time.
They'll be able to flex their legs. Yeah, more than likely be able to flex their legs, especially around the Roval 3 or the Oval 3 and 4. Before I let you go, though, any shout outs or any thanks you'd like to give?
I'm just glad for all the other Ford GT2 racers that have contributed setups and have given a little bit of advice here and there. Seth Whitaker, Soren, Carl, they've all been really helpful and friendly, and they're not too afraid of me. You see somebody with like an 800 I rating, and you're like, oh shit, better mark him and stay out of his way. But it's not like that at all. It's really friendly. So actually, the whole crew really. So,
and more than happy to have little old 800 I racing. We all started somewhere,
Yeah.
I
started above this.
Yeah. Hey. I mean, I went down to 1100, so as long as you're having fun, that's the main thing. You don't have to stress too much over it.
Most of the time, this race is very fun. The GT Challenge is very fun.
And what a better way to say, come join the GT Challenge if you want to race.
Yeah, especially anybody who's into GT3, it's just one little step up from that. Again, GT1's probably going to be more appealing to somebody who's used to driving fast tin tops, but GT4 is like driving a couch. After you drive a GT2, it's like driving a couch. It's so comfortable and forgiving. It never goes sideways unless you really try. But yeah, it's a hard car to get into from other cars. I'd say GT3 is probably the best way in, but I don't know. Maybe we don't want too many people in here, then we'll just get wrecks again.
Oh, well, I mean, it's all part of the fun, isn't it, Jem?
Sometimes,
Anyways, Jem, pleasure talking to you. Hope to see you around a lot more, and good racing out there.
Yeah, thanks.
That was Jem Matson finishing in 6th position in his class of GT2. That'll wrap us up for now. As we say, thank you very much, guys, for joining in. If you like what you see, click the like button, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any more items that we have coming up here on Raidillon TV. Don't forget to check us out don't check us out on our Twitter. I have yet to update it since an age. But apart from that, next week will be Daytona International Speedway. Coming up on October 17th will be the switchover date. We will be here on Thursday broadcasting that 1945 GMT, and then next Sunday for us will be the major series at the something 400. I don't like ovals. Pleasure's all mine. I have been Robert O'Brien. This has been Raidillon TV, the only corner that you need. Pleasure's all mine to take you through it. Good evening, one and all.